for your invitation, Sham, to experience the clink, the chaos, and all of the empowerment secret you desire. There's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get a little clink with chaos. You know we got some. Hella hood with class, baby, I'm 2 in 1. Come sip and savor so we can spill some. And if you lost your way, we'll either lie or there's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get enough. Champagne secrets. On Champagne Gang, Confidante, FizzFam. Welcome back to another Wellness Waves Wednesdays, where we pause from the clink and chaos of champagne secrets and focus on our mental health. So grab your glass of bubbly while I pause and play this quick commercial for my Champagne Gang looking to tighten your skin, and then we'll come back and have a quick recap of our last episodes, and we'll dive right in. Beautiful people, are you ready to transform your skin and feel fabulous? Let me introduce you to our miracle in a jar, this amazing firming cream. This scientifically proven formula smooths the appearance of fat and cellulite, giving you firmer, more toned skin. And guess what? You can use it anywhere from the neck down. Most people start seeing incredible results in just 1 to 2 weeks. Imagine that, just 2 weeks to a more confident you. It's so easy to use. Just apply it every day like your favorite lotion. For best results, use it twice a day. It's just that simple. So why wait? Get your glow on and feel amazing in your skin. Click the link below and grab your jar today and start your journey to firmer, smoother skin. Your skin deserves the best. Pamper it with our amazing firming cream. Order now. I hope you guys have that link saved. Go ahead and click on that link and get you some firming cream. So, over the last few weeks, right, we've dealt with a few different rooms in the Heartbreak Hotel. And if you're interested in watching them, you can watch them individually, or you can watch the live that I did with them all together. But we discussed the suffocating grasp and solitude of the loneliness lounge. We discussed the raging storms of the anger inn and the hate chambers. We also discussed the hidden anxieties of the self-loathing chambers and insecurity inns. This week, we're focusing on the waves of sorrow in the depression suite and anxiety boudoir. So this week is all about depression. So let's set the stage, right? Let me describe the Heartbreak Hotel for you. So I just want you to close your eyes and imagine with me. One of the things you'll learn if you're new over here is everything that we do over here has to do with the imagination. Even when we go into the chalet, when we go into the Hennessy zone, are we drinking Hennessy for real? No, I'm not an alcoholic like that. Are we really drinking that much champagne? No. But I want to give you the opportunity to feel like you're in another place, to escape where you are, and to feel the peace, the tranquility, and the zen of the aura that we're trying to create, right? So close your eyes with me. Imagine this architectural masterpiece that looks like it popped straight out of a dream. The facade, it's absolutely stunning. It's glistening under the sun with those intricate details and shimmering glass windows that seem to reflect the sky. So imagine you're walking through this grand archway into an entrance that's adorned with this large, gorgeous, glistening chandelier that's as radiant as a jewel, and it's casting an inviting glow. The gardens are next level gorgeous with vibrant, fragrant flowers, winding paths, and fountains that dance to the melodies of the wind. It's the kind of place that fills you with hope and excitement just by looking at it, right? Now, once you're inside of this masterpiece, you're greeted by a vast marble lobby decorated with classical artwork and elegant furnishings. The air is filled with the scent of fresh flowers, lavender and vanilla, and there's a soft, soothing music that's playing in the background. The staff, impeccably dressed. They're offering warm smiles, promising to make your stay unforgettable. The rooms are pure luxury. They're plush with oversized beds that have high thread counts, designer decor everywhere, floor to ceiling windows offering panoramic views of paradise that feels almost unreal. But here's the kicker. As soon as you settle in and that door closes behind you, the truth hits. The Heartbreak Hotel, for all its glamour and glitz, is just a facade. The luxury it promises, empty and cold, like a mirage in the desert. The reality really sets in. This place isn't just a catchy name for Elvis fans. It's a trap, one that you've placed yourself in and one that you've got to find your way out of. The Heartbreak Hotel stands as a metaphor for the traps we fall into when we let our emotions run the show without the benefit of our intellect. It's a reminder that without discernment, even the most beautiful facades can hide profound inner struggles. So there's 3 things that can cause you to be a guest at the Heartbreak Hotel, right? The first is the thought trap. Baby, them thoughts can take you on a roller coaster ride, can't they? We've all had those moments when we can't stop replaying the past, just over and over and over, wondering what we could have done differently, beating ourselves up because of past mistakes, some mistakes that weren't even our fault, just thoughts upon thoughts upon thoughts. And by the time our thoughts stop thoughting, you look up and you find yourself trapped. Anybody been there? Next is the emotional vortex. Ooh, he's so emotional, so emotionally sensitive that the wind blowing the wrong way can set our emotions in a whirlwind that will have us looking for the Wicked Witch of the West once we finally settle down. Just emotional. One minute we're crying and the next minute we're smiling. We don't know what to feel or how to control what we feel because we've never even sat down to determine why we feel what we feel. And then finally, we have the circumstantial quicksand, because sometimes it's the external circumstances of our lives that lead us into the Heartbreak Hotel. We'll explore ways to identify these circumstances and how to find a way out. We're so off focus. We couldn't smell our way out of the maze we found ourselves trapped in if there was a piece of cheese leading the way. We're just going around in circles, being led from one circumstance to the next circumstance to the next with no self-control, with no control. So now that we've recapped, right? Let's get to our rooms for this week. Y'all still have those glasses filled? So this week we're talking about the Depression Suite and Anxiety Boudoir. Tongue-tied. So generally, if a person is in the self-loathing chambers and insecurity suites, baby, they also have keys to the Depression Suite and Anxiety Boudoir. They do. It's those self-imposed hurts that we internalize and feel powerless to express or face that leave us feeling down and fearful. We're so fearful. We're fearful that someone will break our heart. We're fearful of being hurt, fearful of being used, of being taken advantage of. So we create these pretend electrocuted fences with barbed wire guarded by 3 pit bulls to keep people out. But do you not know that the worst place you can ever find yourself in is in isolation? Because that's where the enemy plays with you at the most. The enemy can really play with your mind in isolation. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me. Nobody cares about me. You ever realize you never really have these thoughts when you're surrounded by the right people? Unless they are individuals who you deem responsible for part of your isolation. But when you're surrounded by individuals who care about you and are concerned about your well-being, you don't wrestle with these type of thoughts. You don't. And here's the thing, right? The problem isn't that you don't trust others. The problem is that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself enough to make a decision regarding the others that you let in your life that will benefit you. You don't. You don't trust yourself enough to choose the others to have in your life because you tried it in the past and failed. So now, yeah, everybody's a suspect. Imagine this, right? Imagine a crossroads in life where the path to the Depression Suite begins. And it's often marked by a profound sorrow, like an aching loss or unrelenting waves of sadness. So as you traverse this path, right, the air begins to change. It becomes heavy with the weight of unresolved emotions. So upon entering the Depression Suite, you're enveloped with hues of blue, The room feels like a sanctuary of sorrow, where the air hangs heavy with the weight of unresolved emotions, each breath a struggle beneath the suffocating emptiness, where every corner echoes with whispers of regret. Each breath becomes a struggle beneath the suffocating shroud of sadness, reminding you of the depths of your own emotions. And we might not make it to anxiety on this week because we need to really deal with depression. We need to deal with depression because I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it because I know what it felt because I dealt with it myself. You start to feel like you're trapped in a room with no windows. And if there are windows, you feel like you want to cover them up. You feel numb and empty, and sometimes you feel nothing at all. It can grasp you so hard that sometimes you just want to give up. Sometimes it's not that you want to end it yourself, but you feel like if you just was not, as the Bible says, then it really wouldn't matter because you're sick and you tired. And at this point, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Depression makes you angry. Not only does it make you angry, but it makes you angry that you're angry. And it makes you angry that you're happy. And it makes you angry that you're sad. Depression comes from the Latin word deprimere, which means to press down. So you have all of this weight on top of you. You have weight on top of weight on top of weight that's constantly being added on top of weight. And because we don't take the time to troubleshoot one, by the time we get to the fifth, we're out of it because we're constantly going through life with baggage that we never deal with. Family baggage, friend baggage, relationship baggage, work baggage, even children baggage. We take on so much trauma that we never take the time out to unpackage. And then we internalize it, we absorb it, and we make it a part of us. Bills are not a part of you. They are an external entity affecting you, but we absorb it. We make it a part of our being. Instead of asking God to show us an available move to see our way out or through that difficult situation, then we give up. And what happens? Here it comes, another pile of stuff we have to wade through. And that's what we do. We just wade through it, and it all starts mixing together. So much so that you can no longer remember which emotion belongs to which situation anymore. So now everybody got to pay for your imbalance. You see, it's all connected. How you feel about yourself will trigger how you project how you want others to feel about you. If you're always depressed, everyone is going to see you as the depressed chick or the depressed guy. If you're always negative, that's how you'll be viewed because that's what you are telling other people is at your core. Then you'll start drawing to you those who pity you or those who are as depressed as you because you attract what you put out. And some stuff we didn't attract, we willingly walked into because we thought it was what we wanted until we learned it was to detour us from what we needed. Ooh, if we gonna talk about it, let's talk. Scoot up. And now we're so pressed down, deprimere, that we're trying to lift up to catch a breath, but it feels like we are now carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. When in actuality, the weight is just your own. And do you know why it's your own? Because you chose to pick it up. Now let's put all the pretense to the side and get real for a second, because I'm one who's transparent with a purpose. So I'm about to release some of my business with hopes that it'll help you with yours, right? So recently I went through depression. I did. I went through depression so bad that I didn't know if I was going to see my way through it. I mean, I went to a dark place. I couldn't eat. I couldn't think. And the bigger problem was I didn't want to. I was in that place of I didn't want to take my own life, but if I just was not, it would not have mattered. Yeah, that was me that I was talking about. See, I talk to you about where I've been so you'll understand that it's not just talk. Baby, I walked this. And I am walking this. And as many stories as I have covered of women taking their lives or having such low self-esteem that they subject themselves to abuse, or even the men who seem to place all of their value in what a woman says about them, that they try to prove who they are, it breaks my heart. Bottle boys, need my fellas to scoot up for a second. Let me encourage you, because every time you get out the shower or go to the bathroom, what's swinging between your legs lets you know who you are. If My Little Pony can't accept who you are, then throw that fish back in the net and try again. Stop limiting your worth to what these gold-digging cicadas have to say. Don't they live only 4 to 6 weeks above the ground anyway? Y'all better start sending these pocket-watching broads back to the rivers and the falls that they used to. Stop trying to level up people who never showed you they were on your level to begin with. Stop. But now back to my story. About 2 years ago, I started losing everything. I did. I had bought a house from a company I worked for, and the company closed due to the bosses not getting along. One boss quit and the other said they were going to keep the company going, and one day we woke up on payday without checks and no answer from the boss. So because I had just purchased my house and purchased it from them, might I add, I tried to do a modification on my house and it was approved, but in the middle of it, my loan was sold to another company. You can imagine. So I began speaking with them and requesting that they reset the start date of the modification because they received the terms like 2 months late, which means I didn't have them. So I fought with them for like 3 years over this modification and for my house, a house that I actually put money into. So eventually I had to turn my 13 into a 7 because the mortgage company was fighting me so hard, and they were fighting me during the pandemic when they were supposed to be helping to keep people in their houses. So during the pandemic, my modification was finally approved, right? And the trial modification began. So because it was the pandemic, of course, none of the mailmen were running. Post office was closed. Everything was closed, right? So all of my payments were making it to the bank instead of making it the same month. By the end of the month, it was making it like the first or the second of the next month. So the mortgage company actually dropped my modification. They went to the court, told the court that I wasn't fulfilling my obligation. Now, mind you, it wasn't that they didn't get the money. They just got the money a few days late. So they canceled my bankruptcy, and I had to refile the bankruptcy during the pandemic. So the job I was working, right? I was training the staff. I had a full caseload. I was the office admin. I had the run of the office. So I started to complain because I actually had 2 different jobs. I was working 2 different positions. I was an office administrator, and I had a full office team that I had to manage, but I was also a case manager, full case manager. So I had a full caseload that I had to manage. So I started to complain to them to let them know, like, hey, y'all got me doing 2 positions for 1 pay. But then on top of that, I noticed that people were starting to get hired making the same amount of money as me or more than me, but didn't have the same expectations as me. And a lot of them were hired underneath me. So because I'm a strategist, right, and a documentation developer and a trainer, and I'm the type of person that if I'm on your team and I'm a part of your company, then every gift that I have on the inside of me, it belongs to that company. And I'm going to do everything that I can to help uplift and build and push the company to the next level because it's just in me to do it. So I was a documentation developer and a trainer, and I trained the staff, and I hosted orientations, and I did monthly meetings and team building exercises with the team, right? I had to troubleshoot billing, and these staff members, we're not talking about staff members who had a complete understanding of what it means to work in something that's considered trying to be corporate America. These are individuals who did not even understand basic office software. So not only did I have to train them to their tasks, I also had to train them on how to use Word, how to use Excel, how to email structure, how to format a letter. I had to manage their cases. So all of a sudden, because I was complaining, I started to get write-ups. Write-ups that were just being made up because my staff was confused as to where the write-ups were coming from. I developed audits to help them keep their paperwork intact and to keep them straight. But then I started getting wrote up in areas that I didn't even handle. Because I was the office manager or the office administrator, I was told it was still my responsibility. So if anything went wrong, it fell on me, even though this was not an area I ever handled, right? So press pause. I need y'all to remember this. When God tells you to walk away from a person, place, or thing, It's best to do it when he tells you to. Number two, because you don't know what he's protecting you from. But number one, because when you don't, he will sometimes allow something so detrimental to happen to make you walk away and never look back. Think about it. Think about some of your relationships and friendships. Think about some of those attachments that you knew you kept hearing that voice saying, walk away, walk away, walk away. This ain't good for you. But you listened to your heart, which kept telling you, run to it, run to it, run to it. And by the time it was all said and done, your heart was broken, your mind was unstable, and you was ready to go postal and tear everything up. So now at this time, I didn't know what depression was, right? Because I'm a fighter and I always bounce back. Same day, I received a call from a former boss saying that he had a friend who needed a property manager. So now that's something that I love to do because it gives me the opportunity to connect with people. I did it for 5 years, right? I was my tenant's aunt. I was their mom. I was their sister. I was their friend. I was their counselor. I was their prayer warrior. All of it, right? So I was like, yes, God, thank you. This is it. And y'all know how we do, right? When the enemy closes one door, another one opens, right? Those are the lines we use, right? So they hired me from one conversation. Now this job, I was a property manager at a property management company. So they had all of these different departments as to where when I did it before, it was just me. So everything that they did in different departments, I handled by myself. So I started in maintenance. The girl who got me hired thought that I was going to be hired underneath her. But instead, I was hired as her equal, which meant I got my own staff. Baby, she was hotter than fish grease. You could have roasted a whole pig on her skin, baby, red hot. Now, the kicker is, when I started at this company, I was the only black face there. So here comes this black girl with standards, telling us how to work smarter and not harder, and standing up for people and telling us what she's not going to allow us to do to other people, right? Because you got to understand, even though I was the only black face in the company, a lot of the houses they managed had faces in them that looked like me. So here's where the problem comes in with me, right? I don't know how to shut up. I don't know how to sit back and watch people being done wrong in my presence and not say anything. Baby, I'm a shepherd for the underdog. I am. It's not in my DNA to sit back and watch someone being mistreated and not say something. It was the same with my other job. No, you're not putting more work on my team when they already have enough. No. Make the people who are sitting around and doing nothing do their own work. There's a difference between delegating work and distributing your work. There is a difference. So we would clash because she would start sabotaging my work. I started to see red flags again, and my spidey senses started going off because I'm like, I'm reporting this stuff and they aren't doing anything. So finally it came to a head, and I almost wrung that heifer like a wet towel. Do you hear me? Because two things you're not going to play with. You're not going to play with my name, and you're not going to play with my character. Just don't. So they moved me to rent collection, right? They didn't do anything to her. So they moved me to rent collection and customer service. Now, mind you, I train customer service. So me being on the phone is nothing for me. But I'm like, okay, y'all play. So now everybody calling, wanting to speak to me. Tenants, owners, everyone, because I build rapport. I had the largest rent collection group because I'm really helping these tenants to get current and not running to eviction court because they fell behind. So now we have another problem because now people aren't paying their rent because work orders aren't being fulfilled. So I'm talking to the tenants and to maintenance. She deleting work orders, and I'm telling them, look, I'm not making someone pay rent with 2 feet of raw sewage in their basement. I'm not. Yes, elderly people in a building with a stairwell and no lights is an emergency, and you're going to make it one. I was going to the houses and then contacting the owners to tell them, I think your tenant's rent should go down from $1,250 to $850 until these items are fixed. Child, I had tenants with no doorknobs, including their front and back doors, and nowhere in the house. and she was paying $2,400 for rent because she was renting the upstairs and the downstairs. And mind you, the upstairs had no heat in the middle of the winter, and they were telling her she was lying. You thought I was going to sit back and allow y'all to continue to charge this girl for rent and not say nothing, just collect money? That's not how I operate. It's not my MO. So, of course, one day, I get called into the office after about 6 months of working there, and I'm told they are letting me go because they feel I am too much of a people person and I need a job that offers more responsibility. Say what now? I need a job that offers more responsibility when you have workers that have too much responsibility and you could just offload responsibility and maybe more would get done. Now, mind you, at this point, my Chapter 7 has gone through. So I have surrendered my house. I just got a new car because I surrendered my old car. I just moved into a house, mind you, a house that my job helped me get because they knew I was losing my house through a Chapter 7. So I just got the house a month prior. So I'm sitting here like, I know you mother freaking lying to me. Baby, I went dark. I did. I lost weight because it looked like everywhere I turned was defeat after defeat upon defeat on top of defeat. I felt like, why the good get hit the worst? You know what I mean? Why does it seem like it's always harder when you're trying to do right than it is when you're trying to do wrong? Why am I punished for caring so much, for caring about the well-being of others? Because if I would have just shut up and went with the flow and let those people be done any kind of way, I would still have a job. Y'all, I would just cry and cry and cry because all I wanted to do was help people. How could someone as smart, as gifted, as talented as me not be able to hold income without sacrificing my morals? Some of us know how to get money, but we choose not to sacrifice our conscience and our moral aptitude to do it. That's the problem. So one day I received a call about an opportunity to start my business, right? Because I'm a personal vision coach and a business strategist. I'm all about helping individuals and businesses to create a roadmap for their lives and their businesses and an action plan to bring those dreams to life. So I didn't have a counselor or insurance or a therapist. All I had was myself. And what I want you to know is you are the key to escaping the trap. See, I made a conscious decision within myself that enough was enough. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And there was a world that I needed to help and people I needed to snatch out of the grasp of the enemy's hands. And individuals I needed to teach how to smile again, because I always found it was always easier to help pull others out than to pull myself out. But that was because I spent my time focusing on others until I had almost lost myself. Let's talk about it. See, sometimes we got to be honest and be real and let ourselves know that a lot of the reason why we are in the place that we are in is because we placed ourselves there by the decisions that we made and the doors that we chose to walk through. The problem with so many of us is we are so lost. We have lost ourselves in the identities of others. Yes, you are a wife, but you are also you. Yes, you are a husband, but you are also you. Yes, you are a mom and those children need to be provided for, but so do you. And if you don't take care of you, you will be no good for them. So I had to say within myself, and if I have any confidants from the church, we would say I had to encourage myself. I had to find something that was greater than me to help pull me from where I was. There's not going to be anyone around all the time to pat you on the back. There's not always going to be someone there to wipe your eyes. There won't always be someone there to tell you you got what it takes and you can make it. So you're going to have to learn how to pull from on the inside until it begins to manifest on the outside. If you're a Christian, you better pull on every scripture that you know. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You better pull on it. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Pull on what you know, for in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. And now shall my head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Depression isn't something you can think your way out of. You have to speak your way out of it. Maybe you don't know scripture. So let me tell you one thing that worked for me. So one day I was sitting back and I heard this song. And this song was You Got It by Vito. Mind you, I'd heard this song before. It wasn't my first time. But this time when I listened to this song, it did something different for me. I actually felt something. It was like this song began speaking to me. And I would hear this song, You Got It, You Got It. And I would just cry and cry. So what I did was I would start playing this song when I got in the shower. I don't know about y'all, but for some reason I find all of my encouragement in the shower. Whenever I step into the shower, it feels like that's when God speaks to me the most. So I started listening to this song in the shower. And the more I would listen to this song, the more I would cry. Listening to him tell me, I got it, I got it. Then one day, while I was listening to the song, it was like the song started speaking to me. So not only did the song start speaking to me, but it was almost as if I could hear myself speaking to me through the song. So now the song took on a different meaning. So instead of someone else telling me I got it, I began to tell myself I got it. Not only did I begin to tell myself I got it, but when it got to certain sections of the song, instead of relaying the song to a man or a woman like the song does, I changed the words and used depression. Yeah, I did. I changed the words and start saying F depression. And I would say it over and over again every time I took a shower day, if I took a shower in the afternoon, if I took a shower in the night, baby, this song was playing nonstop. I know my kids got tired of it. I know, but I was on a mission for myself because again, I didn't have nobody else who understood my pain. So one day while I was singing it, instead of tears, I felt empowered. Baby, I was in that shower dancing and pointing my finger and F depression and F that nigga. What happened was I used those words to pull on something on the inside of me that was greater than myself. Because the song called for me to pull on my purpose and start focusing on myself again. It's time to boss up. Fix your credit, girl, get at it, get your bag up, hit the gym and get back fine. Focus on me, unlock potential that you didn't know you had in you. Fuck depression, girl. Listen, sweetie, this song became my personal anthem. Now that I found something that had given me a sense of my power back, I had to figure out a way to hold on to it when I wasn't in the shower. So that's when I found positive affirmations. And I started speaking positively to myself and telling me you are worth it. You can make it. You are beautiful. You got this. Because you see, there was a time in my life where I really didn't think I was that pretty. I didn't think I was ugly, but I didn't think I was pretty. Like I've never been a vain chick where I spent so much time focusing on my looks. Like if I was standing next to someone who I thought was prettier than me, I wasn't insecure to the point where I would cower back. But it's just for me, I never felt I was really that pretty, right? So I started affirming myself. I started looking myself in the mirror and telling myself that I'm beautiful. Because see, what you don't understand is that when a person is struggling with their own securities, it doesn't matter how many times you tell them they're beautiful. Until they see it within themselves, they'll never believe it. So I had to start believing that I was beautiful. So I started using my positive affirmations. Not only that, I started using my visualization techniques. Why do you think that I have developed the night secrets for you guys with affirmations? Because that's what I use to help me sleep. I didn't develop a lot of this stuff because I'm just creative and know how. A lot of this stuff was developed because it was tools for me. And now I'm taking those tools and letting them be tools for you. So you don't have to go through the hardship and the heartache and the trying to figure it out that I had to do. All you got to do is push play on the video, honey. And start visualizing your way to freedom. Broaden your imagination. Start to dream again. Start to envision again. Start to picture the you that you want to be. Because until you get into your mind the you that you want to be, it'll never manifest. Because every manifestation started first as a vision. What is your vision? What is your vision for yourself? Because until you can envision yourself outside of depression, you'll never be able to step outside of depression. And it's time for all of us to begin to walk into our freedom. So at some point, we're going to have to take a step back and start focusing on us, focusing on more than just our exterior. Start focusing on what really matters, our interior. Start focusing on our mental health. We have fun with the clink and chaos, don't get me wrong, but the clink and chaos is no good for us if our life is chaotic. So depression doesn't have to have a hold on you. You can break free, but it's going to take a choice from you. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Wellness Waves Wednesdays. Join us on next week where we'll be dealing with anxiety, which is the aftermath of depression, where we can't operate and do anything because we're so worried and we're so afraid and we're so fearful because we've allowed ourselves to become trapped in fear. So join us on next week for another Wellness Waves Wednesdays. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please drop some champagne glasses in the chat. If I have anyone who is in the chat, since this is pre-recorded, but it is going to be released live, if I have anyone in the chat who wants to come up and have a discussion about depression or the effects of depression, or maybe just to give a word of encouragement to someone else who may be struggling with depression, go ahead and drop some champagne glasses in the chat, and I will drop the link so that you can come up at the conclusion of this video. Consider becoming a confidant, joining the Champagne Gang and the FizzFam. Hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when we jump into whatever section of Champagne Secrets we jump into for another show. Hit the notification bell so you'll know and you can join us. Consider sending some fizzles to the Cash App. Show us some love for this environment we're trying to create for you over here. Right now, all proceeds that you may send are being sent to support my daughter who recently lost my grandbaby when she was 7 months pregnant and she had to deliver her baby. We're actually having a memorial service for the baby coming up in about a week. I did do a video on that if you guys want to check it out. But thank you for joining me. And until next time, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta. What's going on, Champagne Gang? Hope you enjoyed the show on today. Hope we learned how to escape depression, receive some tools to escape those traps that we tend to find ourselves in when we let our emotions overtake us. hmm We tend to do that. We tend to allow society and what's going on around us to affect us. And we have to learn how to stop doing that. We do. Because it's time for us to become the individuals that we were destined and created to be. That should be our goal. It's okay to do all the other stuff. But at some point, we got to start focusing on us. We do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Wellness Waves Wednesdays. On next week, we'll be dealing with anxiety and escaping the room of anxiety and the trap of anxiety so that we can stop worrying and stop being so fearful. Because to be honest with you, a lot of us, what's keeping us from becoming who we need to become is we're too fearful. And that's the problem. So once we learn how to get over that fear, we can overcome these hurdles and we can begin to walk out our destinies, walk out our God ordained purpose in this earth realm. So that's going to be our focus. Again, thank you for joining us. And I hope you have a blessed, wonderful, and prosperous night. Get you some rest now. And if you need a little assistance, go check out one of those videos in Night Secrets. Until later, ta-ta.